I'm starting pepper seeds tonight. Technically one day early from my 12-week mark, which for me is tomorrow. Tomorrow is 12 weeks from my average last frost date, which for years and years and years has been April 15th. However, with the way the climate is changing a bit, I feel like my frost date is moving more towards April 1st. But I'm still being conservative. I'm starting them at the 12-week mark for an April 15th average last frost date. And you can always Google your zip code and your average last frost date. The Old Farmer's Almanac that's online is a great place to find that type of information. But I have moved inside. If you were with me earlier, we were outside in the garden shed. I have moved inside and I am starting the peppers. I let the husband sit down and pick out which peppers he wanted to grow. If you guys followed along, last year, husband had his own garden bed and grew peppers and carrots, tomatoes, cucumbers, and loved it. And he's super excited to grow again this year. He picked out red bell peppers, orange bell peppers, ghost peppers, jigsaw peppers, Tabasco peppers, T-Rex yellow peppers. That might have been it. That might have been it. Of course, I did a YouTube video on which pepper varieties I'm growing this year. I have one that is an absolute will always grow. If I could only grow one pepper, it would be this one, and that is the shishito, which is not hot. However, there's a bit of a caveat in that 1 in 10 shishito peppers could have some heat. But even then, if it does, it's less than a jalapeno. So it's not like your face is gonna burn off. Am I okay now? I had a phone call come through. Oh, I should figure out if there's a way to like make that not happen. I just seeded peach ghost peppers from Pepper Joe. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. I'm probably insane. My husband wants regular ghost peppers and I'm growing peach and chocolate ghost peppers. Hopefully we can find some people that like really spicy stuff. What I'm doing is I am using these, I will hold it up to show you. I'm using these cute pink air pruning trays. The slits on the corners are to mimic the air pruning that you would get from a soil block. So I have filled these little 6-cell trays with a mixture of Coco Loco. Actually, no, just straight Coco Loco. I got too lazy to add anything else in. I was gonna add green sand and insect frass. I got too lazy. So it's just Coco Loco, which I'm really liking for a peat-free potting medium. And then what I'll do is once they get their first set of true leaves, I will fertilize using insect frass tea. That's what my plan is. But I just love these cute little, these are from Bootstrap Farmer. They come in different colors. I chose pink. Never have a towel. Okay. So I have already seeded the first row, and I'm getting ready to seed the second row with my peppers. Peppers, they just take so long. They are so slow to grow. This tray, this 1020 tray, and for those of you that don't know, the 1020 refers to 10 inches wide by 20 inches long. This is gonna go on my grow station, on my racks, on a heat mat, because peppers love the heat, with a 2.5 inch humidity dome. Once they sprout, the humidity dome will come off. I'll probably leave them on the heat pad because they love it so much. We keep our house set to 68, so a little chilly. So they'll be very happy on that heat mat. Pet the Basenji. I am doing 2 seeds per hole. When I do a soil block, I typically only do 1, but for these, I'm gonna do 2 seeds per hole, and even though I typically don't like to thin my seedlings by murder, I will just cut out the extra seedlings and not even try and transplant them. Let's just see if I've got any questions that I missed while I was talking so much. Karen, you didn't need to buy a badge. Thank you. What are you doing, you crazy girl? Karen, are you going to be growing anything in your backyard this year? You're so close to me. Karen, I'm growing a lot of peppers. Let me know if you like hot peppers or bell peppers. I may be dropping some of these off on your front porch, and you can just find a spot for them. If you do have a question or a comment, you can drop it in the question like bubble at the bottom of your screen. Then I will for sure see it. Next, I'm going to do, okay, so I told you the one pepper that I will always grow that is like, if I could only grow one pepper, it would be shishito. The pepper I'm most excited, oh, Karen, you love peppers, you're getting peppers. The pepper I'm most excited to grow this year is the lilac bell pepper. I mean, it's purple with like yellow striations. Even if it doesn't taste good, it's gonna look so cool that I don't care. For this one, I'm gonna do an entire 6-cell little container because I think these will be fun to give away to people that might want to grow them also. I'm thinking I've got a couple neighbors that might wanna grow these. I'm gonna give some of these to Karen. A couple of my yoga teachers are super into gardening, so I will give some to them as well, if they want them. I mean, I feel like I'm a plant pusher. I'm like, here, take some plants, grow these plants. How did I lose that toothpick that I was using? Just grab, so I'm using popsicle sticks to label. I don't love popsicle sticks with Sharpie marker or art line marker just because they tend to get wet, they tend to blur a little bit. But I tried using painter's tape on, say the front of the tray. And once it got wet and went through a couple months of being on there, it became extremely hard to remove. So I decided I didn't like that. And then with the popsicle sticks, as opposed to plastic, I feel like I can compost them. Also, with this humidity dome, it doesn't work well to have tall labels. So I end up having to rip the bottom part of the popsicle stick off because regular popsicle sticks will be too tall. I've got to make them smaller. You guys can't even see what I'm doing. So Me Gardens, do you see benefits using soil blocks versus seed starting trays? Yes, I do. I prefer a 1.5 inch to a 2 inch soil block for my vegetables. And the benefits I find are, one, you buy one soil blocker. It can be an investment, but then you're never having to buy a ton of plastic containers. You're not having to have any plastic. The soil blocker should last you forever. It's made of metal. And then you don't have to clean these. So there's the toothpick. Not having to clean these pots would be amazing. That's one of my least favorite things to do, is to clean my seed starting pots. Also, the two biggest benefits are air pruning of the roots. So what happens is when a root hits the edge of the soil block and hits the air, and it stops and then branches, which is good, that's healthy. Also, the plant will put out more roots. So it creates a great root structure. Also, it almost eliminates transplant shock. I was planting some soil blocks in my garden today. You literally dig the hole and you set the block in. There's no tipping the with a container like this, the roots never hit air, so they just start circling, right? That's not ideal. And then there's no like squeezing and trying to get the plant out of this container and disrupting the roots. So the three main reasons for soil blocks are air pruning, not having to clean your plastic trays, also eliminating plastic. We're going on 4 reasons, and then also transplant shock. I also like to watch them grow in the house and then transplant them outdoors. I did transplant some tatsoi today, and I will be transplanting Swiss chard, kale, and mustard in the next couple of days because I want to replace all the things that got killed. All right, let's do some. This is a mix. It's called a kaleidoscope mix from Pine Tree Garden Seeds, sweet bell peppers. So these could be purple, chocolate, orange, white, yellow, red. We're not gonna know. And I do like doing things like that, like the mystery of not knowing, which is similar. I thought I lost my toothpick again. I'm a little obsessed with my toothpick. I like the not knowing. So it's similar to starting dahlias from seed, where you don't know what you're gonna get. I like having some stuff I know for sure. And then I like having stuff where who knows what you're gonna get. I have to say, I almost wish I had started my peppers even earlier, because despite starting them in January and February, my peppers almost never are ready to harvest or eat until October, like September, October. At least the bell peppers. The bell peppers take so long. Some seeds I'm not starting tonight because they are peppers that I'm overwintering in the garage, are the habanada, which have the flavor of a habanero, but not the heat. So let's see, I've got shishito in the garage, habanada, buena mulata, jigsaw, jalapeno. That might be it. No, Sugar Rush Peach and Pequeño. And then I went ahead and started as like a germination test, some Marconi Gold, black jalapeno, and maybe one other that I can't even remember. And those are growing, they're about this tall, and they're in the garage, in our unheated garage with like some indirect light, and they're doing great. It's just kind of an experiment. A jigsaw pepper. Let's find a jigsaw pepper to show you. All right. They're tiny. I'd say they're about this big. They're about this big in real life. And they are a multitude of colors. And the foliage is like this gorgeous variegated white, purple, green. The plants don't get super tall. I'd say the plants got this tall and kind of bushy. They're almost an ornamental, except they're not. You eat them. And they were not too hot for me. I like spicy though. I just thought they were so fun to grow, and they were just gorgeous in the garden. Half the stuff I grow because it tastes good, and half the stuff I grow because it looks cool. Okay, Dragon or Kevin, when do I plan to have these outside? Sometime between April 1st and April 15th is when they will get planted. They will start getting hardened off a week before that. Kind of just depends on what I have going on. And I always look at the 10-day forecast, right? So my last frost date is sometime between April 1st and April 15th. But if I'm thinking about planting them out on April 5th and I look at the 10-day forecast and there's some nights that are pretty chilly, I won't plant them out. Peppers and tomatoes cannot stand temperatures below 40 degrees. Even 40 is like pushing it for them and can stunt their growth. There was one year where luckily I planted my tomatoes in grow bags, but I had to move all of my tomatoes inside in the grow bags because we got a random cold snap and I was scared of losing them. That was just a lot of work that I don't want to do again. Wild Soul Gardener grew the jigsaws and loved them. They are so fun, right? So I'm into like kind of the novelty stuff. Biquinho. I don't think there's a picture of those on, there's not. Biquinho peppers are so cute. They're little, they're tiny, and they have like a little like tail, and they're like round. And they are not, they have like the tiniest bit of heat, and they're so fun for snacking, for throwing in salads, or people pickle them, and I want to try and have enough to pickle this year, which makes me realize I should have started some. Okay, we are adding, I want more. I had one plant last year. It wasn't enough because I just ate them as fast as the plant produced, but I want enough to pickle this year, so we're going to do more Biquinho. I don't even know how to say it. Okay, and again, I'm gonna break my popsicle stick because otherwise they're too tall for the humidity dome. Put that in there. Let's see. I have a lot of pepper seeds. There we go. Grace from Goose Girl Farms gave me these seeds last year. Grace, okay, if you're interested in growing peppers, you need to follow Grace at Goose Girl Farms. She has hoop houses. She goes to the Charlotte Farmers Market with her peppers. What's so funny is my dermatologist actually loves hot peppers. And we started chatting about it, and he was talking about the farmer's market and this girl that sells her peppers there. She has all these amazing fun varieties. And I'm like, was it Grace from Goose Girl Farms? And he was like, yeah. So Grace knows what she's doing. And what's really cool, y'all, is like she's young. Like she found this love of gardening and growing peppers at a very young age, and she has been very successful at it. And I think that is so cool. Okay, I got way too many of these in my hand. Gosh, I'm glad I started talking about this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, I only have one Biquinho pepper going overwintering in the garage. And with the overwintering, it is a roll of the dice, especially since I'm lazy, how many will survive. I hope half the peppers survive. Usually it's always better than that. But if only half survive and, you know, I only have one of a certain variety, well, that's not great odds. I lost the toothpick again. I don't understand. There it is. Okay, another sip of wine. Okay, how many more do I have left to do? I need to do Sweet Big Red Bell, Sugar Rush Peach, White Bell, Shishito, and the Lilac. I mean, wait, did I do the Lilac? Oh, crap. This is why I should never do seed starting on a live. Yes, there are seeds in there. I'm trying to remember once I plant them to move them over so they can go back in the container. It's just more fun though doing this live with you guys and talking to you. Dragon and Kevin, you guys can't have your peppers outside till May and you're 7A. Well, you know what's interesting though is like, I mean, the zones don't really have much to do with when we can plant out, right? Like they have to do with our average low temperatures and like how many days we're at that low with what can live outside year round. So yeah, people in very similar zones can have very different last and first frost dates. Also, Dragon or Kevin, I'm not sure who's on here, or maybe it's both of you. The chicken coop is looking awesome. Do you eat all the varieties that you plant? If so, what do you eat them with? Brenda Limbaugh, we do eat everything that we grow. I have done a couple pepper tasting videos. I try everything that we grow. Some have been have been interesting in terms of the burn. A lot of times we just, I love to add spicy peppers to my cocktails, to my beer. We do the like the Bikino and the Jigsaw. We add to our salads. I do want to get it more into the pickling, and I want to try making hot sauce, like fermenting hot sauce. But I think I need to purchase like special lids or something. Again, it's something I want to do, but it's going to require me sitting down and like spending time figuring it out, learning how to do it. And of course, I'm just like, I don't know, so lazy. Hey, Allison. Allison, if you're not super busy, would you mind being a moderator for the live? I was on earlier and I had some people doing like cucumber and eggplant emojis in the comments. So I'm going to ask you if you will. And if not, it's no big deal. Oh, wait, maybe you're already gone. I think you're already gone. Oh, well. All right, let's plant the white bell pepper. I've never grown white bell pepper before. It looks like it's really like a pale yellow, which is what I think the white marigolds are also, just like super pale yellow, but calling them white sounds cooler. I am planting, 2 seeds per cell in the hopes of having at least one germinate. And I'll just, oh boo, I don't have very many seeds of the white bell. So I'm gonna have to, I did drop one on the floor. I don't see it, darn it. All right, where are my tweezers? There they are. Do some seed starting surgery. All right, I'm gonna take, I was putting 2 per cell, but since I don't have enough, we're gonna do 1 per cell so that I can try and get 6. Okay, that's all the white. I hope you do well. Sugar Rush Peach. Let's talk about Sugar Rush Peach. If you like spicy peppers and you want something fun with an interesting floral citrus flavor, Sugar Rush Peach is like one of my favorites. It was my favorite one to add to my cocktails. I would eat it. I mean, I can tolerate spicy, but I would take bites out of it. Granted, I would try and steer clear of the membranes and the seeds while taking bites out of it. But the Sugar Rush Peach is a super fun hot pepper to grow. Because it's not, like some of the hot peppers are so hot, there's no flavor, right? So it's just this like ridiculous heat with no flavor. The Sugar Rush Peach actually has this really awesome citrusy flavor. These are seeds I saved myself, so we'll see how they do. All right, all that's left are sweet, a big red pepper, 70 days, 75 days, that's not bad, and shishito. I'm a little nervous about the shishito because I saved seeds. And last year, when I grew my shishito seeds, I would say 20% were not shishitos in that they had, I guess, crossed with something that was spicy. Sorry. The loofah just like detached itself from the curtain rod it's growing on, and it really scared me. It like creeped me out for a minute. All right, we're gonna have to fix you. I am growing loofah indoors because, you know, why not? Also, this year I had a couple interesting failures. I normally have no issue growing loofah. This year, I didn't get a single one. And there was a couple other things that I have had great success with that this year were just total bombs. And that's okay. I mean, there are going to be some years where your tomatoes are banging, and then there's going to be a year where your tomatoes totally suck. And there's just really no figuring it out completely. Like, you can look at all the different things, but there's just no way to know for sure. And I've just gotten okay with that. Why are you falling down, loofah? We're gonna have to figure out a better trellising system. Would you believe that my husband, who is just recently into gardening, was actually the one that asked if we could grow loofah indoors this winter? I just love him. All right, these are the last of the seeds I need to start tonight. And these are from Pine Tree. I've never grown these before. They're called just red bell peppers. Do you grow orange peppers? If so, what variety do you prefer? If you mean orange bell peppers, I don't have a specific one. I have grown some in the past and I saved their seeds, but I'm not sure where they were originally from. And the kaleidoscope mix that I'm getting ready to grow should have some orange ones, but it just depends which seeds germinate and do well. I don't know if we're gonna have orange peppers this year or not, other than I saved some seeds from one. And remember, a lot of times the reds, the purple, like the colored peppers, they're gonna start out green. And you can pick them green and eat them as green bell peppers. Or you can leave them on the plant and they will turn color and be a red bell pepper, an orange bell pepper, a chocolate bell pepper. Okay, that is it. Big red pepper, 75 days from transplant. That's something else to remember. When you're figuring out when you want to start stuff, you got to look at your growing season, right? So how many days do you have between your last frost, like in the spring, and your first frost in the fall? And maybe you have 150 days. And if these take 75 days from when you transplant them, you've got to add on. Remember that this is assuming that you started them 8 to 10 weeks before transplanting them. So that can really affect your timeline and when you start things. I'm excited for these. Okay, let's pack up the seeds. I might need to start a second container for my pepper seeds. The peppers are getting out of control. I would say tomatoes and peppers are two of my favorite things to grow in the garden. They just seem quintessential summer. But some of the things that I'm growing this year that I'm very excited about are edamame. Oh, that's another one. I grew edamame one year. It was phenomenal. It was amazing. And then I grew it last year and something just kept mowing down those plants. A rabbit probably just kept eating them and we didn't get any. All right, guys, thanks for joining me while I planted some peppers. These are going to go on the heat with the humidity dome, on the heat mat, under the in the grow station. And you know, pepper germination, it's not exciting. It's usually like 10 to 14 days. So impatient gardeners will just have to wait. Have a great evening.